Hello and welcome, my dear friend. Some signs don't speak, they echo. And when you keep seeing numbers like 1441, 2112 or 330, you're not just catching patterns, you're catching reflections. Like two realities briefly locking eyes before one dissolves into the next. Because mirror numbers aren't just spiritual fluff. They're not cosmic fortune cookies. They are coordinates, placed like pins across the timeline of your awakening. Not to tell you where to go, but to remind you where you've been, and how far you've shifted without even realizing it. You're not watching the signs anymore. The signs are watching you. They didn't start appearing when everything was calm. They showed up when your life started stretching, when your identity no longer fit into the space you once called home, when you weren't who you used to be, but didn't yet know how to name who you were becoming. That's when they began to shimmer, not just in clocks, but in receipts, emails, phone calls, billboards, license plates, every mirrored number like a whisper from the next version of your life saying, "You're close, keep going." The beauty of a mirror is that it doesn't invent anything. It simply reflects what already exists. And when these numbers show up in perfect symmetry, they're not forecasting your destiny. They're showing you that part of you has already arrived and the rest of you is catching up. You are walking between timelines, and the mirror numbers are those strange golden lights at the edge of the forest, flickering to let you know this isn't a loop. It's an entrance. You're not crazy for noticing them. You're tuned. You're not chasing signs. You've become a frequency that attracts alignment. Imagine you're walking across a bridge between two versions of yourself. The old one is fading behind you. The new one hasn't fully formed. And in between, these numbers appear like lanterns swinging in the wind, not demanding your trust, but rewarding it. This is why it often happens when you're uncertain, when you're shedding old habits, leaving relationships that no longer nourish you, or finally stepping into the work your soul has been aching to express. Because change, real change, doesn't announce itself with fanfare. It sneaks in through details. And these mirrored numbers are the details most people miss. But you don't. You've always sensed more than what's visible. Felt timelines tightening or slipping through your fingers. Notice the way your energy contracts when you take the wrong step, and how it expands when you're in flow. Seeing a mirror number is like hearing a familiar voice in a foreign place. It doesn't tell you what to do, but it reminds you that you're not lost, that something, someone, is walking beside you, not behind, not ahead, beside. It's not a coincidence that you look at the clock at just the right moment, or that your phone lights up with a timestamp you've already seen 3 times that day. These are not reminders, they're resonances. And what's so beautiful about this, what people rarely talk about, is that these numbers don't need to be understood to work. You don't have to decode everyone. You don't need a spreadsheet of meanings. Because often, it's not about the number itself. It's about what you were thinking, feeling, or surrendering at the exact moment you saw it. That number becomes a spiritual snapshot, a freeze frame of your frequency. Proof that you were aligned, even if just for a second. You're not waiting for miracles. You're becoming one tiny shift at a time. And every mirror number you've seen lately, that's the universe saying, "I see you transforming, and I'm mirroring it back." You've felt it, haven't you? A strange kind of pull, like something invisible rearranging your steps, slightly, gently, but with certainty. You keep ending up in the right place without planning it. You keep saying things you didn't rehearse, meeting people you never saw coming, and almost always, a mirror number shows up close behind, not to congratulate you, but to confirm you're in sync with the path your higher self already chose before you forgot. You are not just manifesting, you're remembering. And every mirrored number is a trace of that memory trying to break through the noise of your current timeline, whispering, "You've been here before, not in body, but in soul." That's why these numbers don't just feel like signs. They feel like interruptions. Time slows. You pause. And in that pause, something shifts. You stop doubting. You stop spiraling. You stop asking how, and start feeling ready. It's no accident that these mirror numbers began appearing more often as you started letting go of the old you, the one who always needed to make sense of everything before trusting anything. That version of you believed that safety came from control, but the real you, the one stepping forward now, they know that peace isn't in controlling the path, it's in becoming the path. And mirror numbers? They are the mile markers along that inner highway. They don't tell you where the destination is. They prove you're already en route. So yes, your world might look the same to others right now. Same room, same job, same city, but everything is different because your frequency is no longer matching your old timeline. And that mismatch is what creates the shimmer. That almost imperceptible feeling that you're walking through scenes that no longer quite fit. That time is bending, that the air itself feels thinner. That's not disorientation, that's realignment. You may start to notice more glitches. Things that used to repeat suddenly stop. People who once called every day go silent. You feel like you're walking through an echo of the past, but your heart is already in the future. Why? Because you've crossed something, some invisible line that can't be undone. You're not straddling timelines anymore. You're anchoring into the one that finally fits your truth. And mirror numbers still show up, not to pull you forward anymore, but to celebrate you. To say, you've arrived at another checkpoint, another layer of yourself unlocked. Let others call it superstition. Let them dismiss it as a trick of the eyes. But you know better. You've seen too much, felt too much, heard too many divine whispers arrive on time, right before everything changed. You are not seeking proof. You are the proof. You didn't need a burning bush to know you were chosen. The numbers on the microwave at 11:11 were enough, because in that split second, the veil lifted, and you remembered you were walking with something holy, even in a kitchen, even in your pajamas, even in the mundane. That's the thing about these numbers. They don't need to be sacred. You make them sacred by what you do when you see them. You breathe, you shift, you let go of something heavy, you trust something deeper. And in that moment, you step further out of the version of you who needed the world to believe in magic first, before daring to live it. So the next time you see 1551, don't rush past it. Pause, take a breath, and ask yourself, what am I realigning with right now? What version of me is this moment activating? What timeline is responding to my courage? Because that number didn't just show up on your screen. It appeared on your path because you were finally ready to see it. Not as coincidence, but as conversation. Not as prediction, but as permission. You are walking between timelines, not because you're lost, but because you're being found by the life that's been waiting for you to believe in it, just enough to step in. And every mirror number that greets you along the way, it's just the universe's way of saying, I see you choosing yourself. I see you arriving. And this time, you're not going back. Thank you so much for taking this journey with me. If this message resonated, please like, share it with someone who might benefit, and subscribe to stay connected. Continue your awakening journey by choosing one of the videos on your screen that resonates with you the most. See you there.